Hi everyone. Have you ever been called bipolar? I had people that actually had called me bipolar, diagnosed me even. But then later, when I went back to people for other people for help, after I got out of my circumstances, I had other people who were able to tell me I was misdiagnosed and actually had PTSD. And not just PTSD, but I was in an abusive relationship. One day I went to go to a event where they were having somebody speak up front, and I was just really depressed because of this relationship. It just wasn't going anywhere, and it wasn't going well at the time. And while going through this, I got to a point to where, sorry, my eyes being weird here. Not one word. Anyway, in this particular area I'm looking at is how later, while I was still in that relationship, I had somebody who called me a springboard instead. And I'm like, what? Like, you just taught the entire room something. And I was like, really? What? Me? And they're like, yeah, you did. You taught somebody something. You taught everybody in this room something. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? He's like, I just watched you. I was watching you from the back of the room and stuff, and I was watching you and realizing that you were, it looked like you were really having a hard time and stuff. But in an instant moment, you just started laughing and everything else that followed afterwards. And I thought maybe it was just me and stuff, but later I learned it was because I had PTSD. And the springboard version of me was because I wasn't going to give up hope. I wasn't going to give up on believing that there was nothing good left in the world. I refused to believe so. So my mind, I somehow had trained my mind to do something. I did it, nobody else. I trained my mind to continue to start looking for the good, no matter how hard it got, so that when I would hit my lowest of low points, something would springboard me back up. Why? Because life was a piece of crap at the time. There was a lot of good things that were going on, but I couldn't see all the good things because I was clouded by all this heavy brain fog of PTSD, and also by living in a relationship that wasn't serving me. It was hurting me more than it was helping me. And this person, I found myself one day singing in a song out on a street while in between being homeless and staying at a motel, where I was singing Bless Him. And I was singing as if I was talking to my daughter, because I realized he didn't feel blessed to be alive. When I decided to keep on moving forward and move on without him, and did the best I could to pick myself back up while I had other support as well, because I found them. But bipolar, springboard, labels either way. But somebody brought into my life a very positive feeling about myself at that moment. I still laugh at this, how this person did things just to catch my attention. that particular event, he just kept on calling me Springboard, and I would smile or chuckle or laugh. And after a while, it kind of got old. But then one day, I went into another event, and he goes like this, Spring. And he just like he was standing up, and so he was bouncing that little bit and stuff. And I just started laughing. He's like, "You're gonna make me do that every time now, aren't you?" And I'm like, "I didn't make you do anything." But it was funny nonetheless. And I would find people along the way that were just that. They were funny. They helped you laugh when life had been really hard, and knew how to make me laugh is the funny part. Not everybody knows how to make me laugh. And I'll tell you, one day I made someone else laugh. I was laughing so hard, and I knew instantaneously, as soon as I knew this information and stuff or whatever that I was laughing about, that I had to share it with somebody. And it was one of the leaders of the groups that I had actually been to for one of the New Age seminars, and he would be doing real estate or whatever else and stuff like that. And I emailed him later about it. And while I was watching your real estate thing and you were guiding people through to do the breakthroughs and whatever else you were doing and stuff like that, I wrote down this. I ended up putting down that he was like, well, what's something really in life that's just bothering you that you just want to be rid of and that you're like done with or something like that? He'd worded it probably in his own way, I'm guessing, at this point in time, but the general idea is the same. It's that when he went to go teach this class, all of a sudden, I was sick at the time, keep in mind. I had a cold, I had all this heavy, yucky stuff, and I couldn't get the phlegm out even, like it was just, ugh. And I had a day where when that was happening that I just was like, he would do some of these events and he would teach you how to do a board break. And you would sit there and you do the board break with them and whatever else and stuff. Well, while he's doing this, he's walking people through and he'll teach you how to look at it and go, I easily and effortlessly separate the molecules, right? And I'm like, okay. Then I did this often enough times. I'd been to his events often enough that I realized, okay, yeah, I get it. And the other part is that I got it kind of automatically because that's just kind of how I thought anyways. But the thing is that this particular day when he was doing this event, I was I had what popped into my mind at the time was something that I just find as a hilarious joke now and stuff, but it's just, I shared it with him shortly afterwards, and he sent me an emoji that was of him and a big, one of those laughing faces till you cry, like, let's say it was like this big on the page, and then his cartoon self like over here and stuff like that, and both of them laughing so hard that they're crying kind of thing. And I was like, yes, I got this person to laugh. Like, it was just like, for some reason, I wanted to make that person laugh. And it was because he would seem like he was just this one person that always seemed on top of his game and whatever else and stuff. But if I could get him to laugh, it was like the best thing I could have ever done, I felt like, for some reason. Well, what I told him that day was, instead of saying about the board and how to easily and effortlessly separate the molecules of the board, basically, in this case, I was sitting here saying, I easily and effortlessly separate the mucus molecules. And it was just because I was really feeling yucky, and I'm like, I just needed the yuck to be gone. And all of a sudden I started laughing. And the funny part was, even after that, I started saying it even more and more and more. And that's what my mind was ready for at that time. So it was easy for my mind to just sit there and make the shift plenty of times. And when I did so, it actually worked. That's the part that people sit there like, what? No, it doesn't work. No way. And I'm like, yeah, it worked. But it was so funny to me and stuff because it taught me how much we actually have, how much words have power. And I can talk straight. How much words have power. Anyways, the we don't realize how much our words have power until we get to certain levels and layers of in life and stuff where we actually see the effects. And what he taught me was surrounding was limiting beliefs and overcoming those limiting beliefs. And he would just sit there and talk about basic things. He's like, I'm not talking about the ones that were like about religion and about whatever else and stuff. These were just simple ones within us where we tell ourselves we're not ever going to be good enough, or we tell ourselves that we're just not worthy of something better than this and stuff like that. And he would continue to tell this story and whatnot. And one time his wife surprised me. His wife came over and was the one who was guiding me over what was a glass walk at the time. And the glass walk, I recognized something in this particular event. I was going through a time in my life and stuff where I didn't want to let go of somebody that had died and passed on. Somebody who I really cared about. And as I'm walking across this glass and I'm saying these new empowering beliefs in affirmation form, I can talk straight. The other part that came along with that was that one of the moments, for some reason, I had a feeling just to use the word pain. And I did. I wanted to release the pain. And as soon as I mentioned the word pain, all of a sudden my feet were just hurting really intensely. I'm like, whoa, like what the heck just happened here? I was just fine a minute ago, or a second ago, or whatever. And as I went across and got onto that other side, his wife had actually said to me, I'm going to invite you to change that. Change it to something more empowering. Like you're letting go of, you allow other people to live in their journey, be on their journey and live in their journey and go wherever they need to go, kind of idea. And as soon as I switched that, the pain was gone again. It showed me how much the power of thought, the power of words, the power of our emotions, and how when they all connect and our beliefs behind them, but one of the ones that I'd been to with his events, afterwards there was a wedding. And it was for one of the people that had been through and was a part of the team now, I guess, at their events. And I got invited to go. And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, I may need to leave early just so that I can figure out a way home or something. They're like, well, we can give you a ride home. You need to get out and do something besides just coming to these and going to home afterwards. And so they took me to the wedding. Well, the person who did that event happened to be there too, like not the wedding, but the event that I went to before. And he was there, and they'd been doing like this dance or whatever for the wedding and stuff, like 4 guys all together having a blast. And for some reason, when I saw all this good stuff happening, I got triggered into a PTSD trigger in a sense, but didn't understand why. Even to this day, I don't completely understand the full aspect of why I got so triggered. But for some reason, my mind immediately went to, why could I have never had this? This is a beautiful wedding. Why was I never allowed to have this? I wanted a beautiful wedding like this. And At the moment, I got so triggered, though, that I was about ready to turn and leave. And I decided to prepare myself to leave in that moment, just emotionally, like I was about ready just to turn and leave because I was just done. Well, the person who had done that event walked up to me and started just taking me by the hands and started dancing with me and whatever else and stuff like that. And I went into shock. I was just like stunned that anybody could ever even just. At first, I was just like, what the heck's happening? Oh, wait, there's nothing bad happening. Oh, wait, what the heck? Seriously, like, why am I, like, all this stuff running through my mind? But yet I was still just dancing and had a straight face on my, and was in shock. Because I couldn't believe that something like that could ever happen. In that moment, at least. And because every guy that I'd ever danced with, except for one, there was usually a bad experience, or at least what I perceived as a really bad experience that would happen afterwards. Something that hurt me each time. And I don't know where it started because the first time I ever did dancing, was with my brother, and we did what we called was an octopus dance. We just took each other's arms and kept on twirling upside down and going around and stuff like that, and doing other fun stuff that during that time. But I don't remember anything bad happening, so I don't understand how there was more of it brought into my life later as I went to my first year of high school. And later was when I was with my ex-husband and then my father-in-law. It was through him. And it just seemed one bad experience after another. I mean, it just didn't seem like what I really wanted. Eventually, after this one experience that had happened with this person, it was several months that I was still learning lessons, positive ones, that happened from just this one experience. It was one of the times that I actually just started being more happy again, when I didn't feel like that there was going to be much happiness left. I was so grateful to have met that individual. He changed my life. And sometimes we have those kind of people that come into our lives that do that. They just kind of show us something, is that there's a better life out there than what we've been shown and given before. And in this particular case, when people would talk about bipolar and Springboard, I still smile about having that experience. You taught everybody in the room something. Me. And then they just called me a springboard. And when I asked them what did they mean by that, they actually said this. They said, you showed us that in a single instance, we can choose something better. That it can be done instantaneously. When someone's tired of being stuck, they're tired of being stuck. And if they really want something good, they'll set the intention somewhere in some point in life but they'll continue to find the good. Those are optimists. Springboards. People that say it can be done no matter what. It may take time sometimes, but in this case, I was ready to say enough was enough and enjoy life. If you're having that hard of a time where people are telling you that you're bipolar and that you have to have a label to give you an answer to feel relief, at some point when you're ready, you will begin to learn that you didn't need the label, just needed a new decision. Know that you're loved. Big bear air hugs. Namaste.